It's Tanner here from Cruzely.com, and today we're talking about cruise line sales. Now, who doesn't love a good sale? The idea of getting something for less, especially when it comes to your vacation, is enough to put a smile on anyone's face. And as an incentive to get you to buy that trip, the cruise lines, they use discounts and sales as a tool. But before you jump at the next offer you see, these secrets are things you should definitely know before you buy your trip. Let's begin with the first thing you should know whenever you see a sale offer from a cruise line. Now, visit any cruise line website right now and you'll see that they're having a sale. Doesn't matter if you want to sail Carnival or Royal Caribbean or Norwegian or anyone else, there's a sale right now. That's because the cruise lines, they run sales constantly. There are sales for wave season, for Black Friday, summer deals, and seemingly just a sale because it's a random Tuesday. Just how some stores seem to always have big discounts offered, cruise lines follow a similar path. In other words, when you get that email or you visit a cruise line website and you see the headlines about a huge sale, don't automatically think that this is something special you won't be able to get any other time of the year. But it's also nice to know that whenever you do decide to book, there will be some sort of offer for you. What's the difference between buy one, get one free and getting 50% off? They come out to the same price. In my experience, a similar thing happens with cruise fares. Now, it's not always the case, but often you'll find that while two sales from a cruise line offer up different deals, they come out to the same price, or roughly the same price. For instance, you might see a cruise line offer 30% off of all cruise fares. A few weeks later, you might see 60% off a fare for a second guest. Since cruise fare is actually priced based on two passengers, price comes out to the same. Now, that's not to say there might not be some differences here and there. Instead, if you're thinking that you sail for hundreds of dollars cheaper if you only wait for the right sale, that's probably not going to be the case. You might think that what you pay is going to be heavily influenced by the cruise line's sale offer. Odds are that's not the case. As mentioned, in most cases you see similar prices from cruise sales. A trip is unlikely to be hundreds of dollars cheaper from one day to the next simply because of a sale, although it doesn't hurt to check. Instead, your sale date will have the biggest impact on what you pay. Trips sailing on lower demand months like February or in October, they are priced less than the same trips sailing during high demand months like June or during spring break. In other words, a sale is always nice, but being flexible on when you cruise is going to end up saving you the most money in the long run. When is a sale not a good deal? When it ends up costing you more money than you'd otherwise spend. Now, how is that even possible? A number of cruise lines have offers with perks included in the fare. So normally you buy a cruise fare and then have things like gratuities or drink packages and Wi-Fi as extra charges on the ship. These sales give you perks like these included in the price of your cruise. Here's the deal, the sale price with the perks included will be higher than the fare without the perks. So for example, you might see a price of $1,000 for the bare bones fare, but $1,200 for the sail fare with the extras included. If you will buy these perks anyway, then you're getting a deal as the price is less than buying them all separately. However, if not, then you'll actually pay less without the offer. You'll want to run the numbers with and without the perks to see what is a better deal for your cruise. Another thing to keep in mind with those free perk offers is that some of them might not be so free. Specifically, I'm talking about Norwegian Cruise Line and their free at sea offer. Now, this deal has been around for years with small tweaks occasionally, and it is highly popular. Normally, depending on the room you select, you get a number of freebies included in your cruise fare. This includes everything from drink packages to specialty dining, to excursion credit, to Wi-Fi, and more. But one piece of fine print you should know is that gratuities aren't included on the free deals. So if you get the drink package included, which normally costs $99 per day per person, you'll still have to pay a 20% gratuity on the normal price. That comes out to roughly $20 each day of the cruise. The same goes for gratuities on the specialty dining. Now, you can opt out of these offers if you want, but just note that the free package would still have some cost attached. One tactic you might see when you visit a cruise line's website is the sale being advertised with a large countdown ticker. This ticker counts down second by second, putting an added sense of pressure that you need to book quickly or that sale will be gone forever. Now, I've already mentioned that cruise lines run sales constantly. So even if the sale did end when the timer hit 0, then another one is likely to take its place. But in reality, sales are often extended, or sometimes they are only slightly tweaked and a new countdown appears. For instance, NCL has run some version of its free at sea offer for years, although the offer specifics do vary from time to time. In other words, if you're thinking that you absolutely have to book before that timer hits 0, that is likely not the case. So say you find the perfect cruise you want to take, and you pull the trigger on booking the deal. You got a great offer and you're happy with the price that you paid. But then just a few days later, there's a huge sale. Instead of just extending the previous sale or offering a slight tweak, the difference is much bigger. And it means that the same cruise that you just booked is much less money. You're out of luck, right? Not so fast. If this does happen to you, then you want to give the cruise line or your travel agent a call. Often cruise lines, they will work with you on price fare differences. So if you booked and the price drops, then you can many times get the difference refunded or given as onboard credit. Now, it doesn't always work, but considering that it only takes about 5 or 10 minutes of your time, it is definitely worth a try. Perhaps nothing is more enticing than the thought of snagging a last-minute cruise deal. If a ship is going to sail with a cabin empty, then it would make sense that the fare on the room would be cut to get someone to sail in it, right? Reality, that's usually not the case. At least before the pandemic, ships sailed more than full. Occupancy rates, they were typically above 100%, meaning that some cabins even have more than 2 people in them. As well, cruise lines don't want to train passengers to wait to book until the last minute. If every trip was discounted just weeks before it sailed, then passengers would learn to wait to book to save money. That would lead to a mad rush as the sail date approached. That would make planning for a trip much more difficult for the cruise line, to say the least. So in normal times, booking last minute usually doesn't offer a huge deal, but it could mean having fewer cabin options. Now, that's not to say you have to book years in advance, but don't expect that you'll find sailings departing soon for just pennies on the dollar. Okay, so what is the bottom line here? When it comes to cruise lines and the sales they run, my experience is that they don't make as big a difference as you might think. If you're thinking about a chart showing the price of the cruise over time, you might picture a line spiking up and down dramatically with different sales. Instead, it seems to be much smoother and more dependent on things like the time of year and the ship that you sail. Thank you for watching, and before I go, I wanted to remind you to like and subscribe. You can also find more tips on Cruzely.com. And until next time, happy cruising.